Hey, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings, so we take what works and we leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your reading on this one, if I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, go check your other major placements. And I have some new decks, and I get decks from time to time, and they don't resonate with me, and I don't know. I thought it would. It doesn't. But these ones really are. So I'm replacing both my decks this week. But I'm very nervous. You know, I don't think I've ever done a reading on here without the Oracle Mystical Moments to start us off with. So it makes me a little, feels like I'm driving the car without a seatbelt on. So we're going to start with something called Botanical Inspirations. This is about the Victorian ideas about flowers and what they meant. And we're going to start off with these. Look at what energies we might be dealing with this week. All right, Libra. Are we dealing with any energies this week? All right, Libra, what flowers do we want to talk about right now? Okay, thank you. Just one. So, hyacinth, playfulness. Play is the royal road to childhood happiness and adult brilliance. So I think this is fascinating. So playfulness, humans learn best through play. And so that's an energy that we are embodying this week. I kind of wish this was grape hyacinth because my kids just loved grape hyacinth and playing with those little balls, the little purple balls on the things. Also the gophers. At a place I used to live, absolutely loved grape hyacinth. So playfulness. So we're dealing with some sort of playful energy, some sort of possibly learning through play, some sort of renewal of play as we become adults. We can sometimes use that playful thing. And just as a Libra myself, here I am. I'm playing with my new decks. I'm a little nervous about it, but I'm going to try to play with these new decks with you guys. Then for my regular tarot, for the tarot spread, I have this golden tarot deck based on medieval and Renaissance art collages. So typical, meanings should be the same, but sometimes I find it really interesting when artists, when you read the Rider-Waite, there's like a list of many different meanings that each card could have. And they're pretty varied depending on what's going on in the spread and where they're at. And then some artists take a meaning that I have never really associated with the card and they run with it. So their work is like, that is not the way I see that card. So we'll see what happens here. I wasn't even really sick of the other one. I just really loving this one, playing with it. All right, here we go. Libra, this is your past, your present, your inner landscape, what's at issue, your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. Okay, in your recent past, you have the Empress. This is sort of our Earth Mother goddess. This is your first glimpse at the artwork on these cards. I love them. This is your, so the Empress is sort of the Earth Mother. She has everything she needs. There's an air of abundance. I really like this. There's some purity here. We're going to be looking at the flowers in this deck, and this deck uses a lot of lilies, and lilies are, of course, a flower of purity. And then we also have these rabbits, which are not necessarily a symbol of purity, but are a symbol of fecundity and massive reproduction and abundance. So we have a lot of abundance here, a lot of growth, and the Empress, she's very self-sufficient. She's very independent. And she has everything she needs. She lacks for nothing, and she has a lot of power within herself, within her own power. In the present situation, we have the Devil card. So we have being really bothered by something, and the Devil usually is anything that sort of separates us from our truth selves. Some kind of addiction, some kind of issue here, something very unpleasant, a nightmarish situation. there could be like a sense of needing to purify issues that have gone on in the past, needing to rid yourself of things, and it's a very difficult process. This can be sometimes a painful process to have to deal with sort of some of our issues from our past and the things that have caused us pain in the past, but sort of a cleansing situation here. But it is something that's, this card is so disturbing. I'm sorry, I haven't looked up yet because I'm very absorbed by the disturbing nature of this card. It can be addiction. It can be anything that sort of separates us from our true path, separates us from the divine. So we might be dealing with some sort of addictive issue, some sort of issue right now that's sort of challenging to us and does not bring out our best. What's on our mind here is this 8 of Cups. So the 8 of Cups is our intuition is calling us forward, and we're wondering about being called forward into a place that's a little more satisfying and a little more fulfilling. So he's got these 8 cups here, and he's like, yeah, but I think there's more out there. So he's going off to seek his fortune elsewhere, even though there seems to be enough here. And we've got the Empress here. So we've got enough. There's abundance here. And most people are looking at these 8 of Cups saying, yep, that's a lot. That's a lot of cups this guy has. But your intuition is calling to you and is asking you to move forward and to continue on with your journey, to keep going forward. And so this is in your hopes and fears column. So you may be fearful that, I think there's always a fear that, in my, in the Oracle Mystical Moments deck, we have the redirection card. And so redirection, this is sort of the cup in the 8 of Cups card is being redirected. Okay, we're here. We've got this right now. But there's some place else now that you need to be. You got where you needed to be here, and then now there's something else. So I think that we can be afraid of redirection because I think many of us would like to be settled, would like to be like, okay, this is where I'm going to be for now. This is where I'm at. And so you might be worried about like, okay, I am someplace, but do I need to go further? But with this Devil card here, something with this 8 of Cups is bothering you. It's not quite right. And you do want to keep moving forward. So you might be hopeful that you'll be able to find something more satisfying or more fulfilling. But you're thinking about it. You're thinking about, is this where I want to be? Is this going to be enough? Is this really where I want to be? I mean, I don't know that you really do want to be with the Devil right here. So you might be like, this is not quite what I had in mind. And your intuition's telling you, yeah, there's more to life than this. What you have here is in the issue, what's an issue card? Oh my goodness. Is this 4 of Swords, but we take it in the reverse. So 4 of Swords in the upright is about taking a nap, taking a break for renewal, preparing for resting up for the next day. But in reverse, it can actually be sickness, can be illness, can be, having not taken a break and now suffering the consequences of having pushed yourself too far, having things be too challenging, having not... I think this is where this things haven't been playful. With this Devil card here, there has been a lot of stress. And so this can just be, the reverse is not like, you don't really have an option anymore to rest. Your body's going to force it on you, or something's going to force rest on you. So this is a forced rest, not a voluntary rest. And that's what's at issue. I mean, this can be about coronavirus. This can be about physical illness where it didn't work. Whatever you tried to push through is now pushing back, and it's bigger than you. So, so there's a sense of needing a forced rest here, of some sort of break coming into your life and coming almost for you, and it's not really an optional nap at this point. At this point, it's like, break, you have to take a break. And that's causing a problem for you, because you want to move on. You want to keep going on, finding some satisfaction. And that's really a problem, because breaking right here in the present situation isn't a pleasant place to have a break, right? This reading is not my favorite reading. It's my first reading on here of these with these cards, and I'm like, oh boy, this is not looking good here. In your current situation, you have the Knight of Cups. So somewhere around you, the Knights, it's a court card, so it's probably an actual person. There could be this week or in the sort of nebulous time period that surrounds these readings, this Knight of Cups energy. So he's bringing in an emotional offering. It's not the world's most stable emotional offering. We have the Knight. Knights are daring, Knights are exciting, and we've got like a storm back here and some fish leaping out. So there could be an offer coming in, but it's not feeling like or seeming like the world's most stable offer. Of course, the Knight, can know exactly what he's doing, or he might be very young, and not know what he's doing. But there's a desire for an emotional connection here. It may not be it's a strong desire for an emotional connection, but it may not be the most, the smoothest desire for emotional connection, or the smoothest offering you've ever seen. It could be a little tumultuous and a little bit intense and emotional. But the strength of the love is there. Your to-do list. Wow, Tarot. Not only is this the first time using these cards on camera, but it's also like a little bit confusing here as far as just the cards themselves. Your to-do list is the Nine of Swords. So your to-do list cannot possibly be to have a nightmare. It could be to explore your fears, to explore this, what would be your nightmare. I mean, you've got this Devil card here, so maybe you're already experiencing something, and to let yourself feel everything that you're feeling in this situation, to let all the feelings, all the fears, all the anxieties you have, to explore them. Here you have the hound barking at you in the middle of the night. Look, he sleeps commando. And so we have these fears coming in, and I think what you're supposed to do is deal with them and feel them and experience them and understand them. And, in a way, with our fears, we want to welcome them in and say, hey, come on in, fears. Come sit on my couch. Here's a cup of tea. What do you have to say today? What would you like to talk about today? Why are you here? Why are you in my life? What's fascinating to me here, though, is we have this playful card at the front of this reading. So, and then we start off really fabulous with this Empress card, and then we've got the Devil, we've got this reverse Four of Swords, forced rest, unwilling. You're like the kid whose parent has to pick them up like a football and put them in their bed and make a list of consequences to keep them there so that they take their freaking nap. I mean, you're having a forced nap here that you're maybe screaming through and disagreeing with, but you still have to, everything's still stopped. And then you're supposed to just deal with your fears, deal with what's the issue, your fears, your nightmares. What's going on here? Why are you so afraid? Oh, this is why we're bringing in this playful energy, because you're afraid, you're scared, and you're worried, and you need to get out of this and get into this play energy here. But the only way I think we're going to do that, we can't bury these fears, we can't bury these anxieties. They just pop up later worse. This is probably what's causing this Devil thing to be here. These fears lead to this sort of connection, to lead to this sort of, thing that can separate us, behaviors and all that stuff. So we can't be burying our fears. We can't just leave them in the dark. We have to bring them to the light and talk about them. This will help with this playful energy that we're being called into. And then, so deal with your fears, your issues, your worries. Bring them from the night. I feel like what we're talking about is bringing these out of the nighttime, out of your dreams, out of your out of your head, talking through them, visualizing what is it that you're afraid of, and really sticking with it and staying with it. And if that doesn't feel safe to you, finding someone that can help you feel safe and help you navigate that. If doing that alone doesn't feel safe to you. But I think it is like getting really into and diving deep into your fears here. And then where we're going here is this 8 of Coins. Lots of work, fascinating work, interesting work. The work you do for money. We have a woodpecker here. We have a woodpecker here, so I'll be looking that up, what that means. But yeah, like participating in actual work and labor. So maybe you've had like a forced layoff here and you're gonna get back to work, or maybe, you know, deal with your fears, and then you'll be able to be more productive at work and more focused. And I mean, the 8 of Coins here really has a nice feeling of, and should typically have a nice feeling of, I do want to say play, like enjoyment and play, fascination. Oh yeah, because there's the woodpecker, and then he's drilling holes here in some sort of, I don't know. So this is an old-fashioned drill, like a woodpecker. Yeah, I think you need to face your fears, much like I am here reading two totally different decks for you guys in a way that I've never done before. But, you know, exploring what those are and facing them and waking up and making sure we're looking at them. And then this leads to some sort of, you know, what it is you're here to do. This work is actually a foundation of who you are, much like the woodpecker is named and just, that's what he does. He pecks at wood, like, and so your work is going to be something about who you are, and bringing more of who you are into work and what you do, being able to bring more of that into your life and into what you do. And I also see some fascination with work, maybe even pouring yourself into work, and finding satisfaction there in the work that you do. All right, Libra, that was an interesting reading. So anyway, I hope that's helpful for you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Thanks for watching, and thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, and your comments. I really enjoy hearing from you. And with these new cards, I'd love to hear what you guys think and of how and of how the reading goes and all of that. What you think of the messages that are coming through with these cards. So anyway, let me know and have a wonderful week.